Hey baby, it's cold out there. Oh shit, wait. Oh my god. Well, welcome to After Raid Hours. It's your boy, JayTi7N, and the illustrious JackJack1620.
Hello.
How's it going, man?
Good, man. I'm ready for this cold to be out of here.
Oh my gosh, this has been nippy.
I'm not the biggest fan of the snow.
Nipples cutting diamonds. Nippy.
Yeah, I'm all about fall.
Wait, you grew up here and you don't like the snow?
Like, I enjoy the snow. I just don't like people in the snow.
Fair enough.
For the most part.
I hate snowmen too, so... No, outside of that, no, I decided to try to headbutt a Tauros, and, well, you should see the Tauros, but my neck's killing me.
I bet. Like,
you're the ox, bro. I had to show what's up. But anywho, well, we just got finished with the Kanto tour.
Yes.
Pokemon Go Kanto tour, for those that are not in the loop, I guess. It was a $12...
under a rock.
$12 ticket?
Yes.
$12 ticketed event, and we kind of went over the details of it in some past episodes, but long story short, they promoted that all 151 of the OG Pokemon from first gen Kanto, so that's blue, red, yellow, leaf green, and fire red for you guys, can be shiny, so I was really looking forward to that. They promised at least a shiny Ditto guaranteed through the special research.
Yep.
And then after you finished all of the special research for the event itself, they unlocked a new special research number 151 or whatever, which will eventually poop out a shiny Mew. So I'm pretty
the blue boy.
Pretty pumped about that.
Mew.
Some blue Mew. And that one's going to be kind of a like you can't do it in one day type deal.
Yeah, that was an extended quest.
Which I enjoy those, that you can't just power through it and then it becomes forgettable. But at the same time, like
it gives players something to do, like, which is good.
The one thing out of that quest, so I'm going to jump all the way to that real quick.
Okay.
The first stage, it's in 4 stages, and I don't know what the other 3 are. Well, the 4th one will probably be just collect, and I don't know why that's a step, but anywho, the first stage is, well, you got to throw 151 great balls, pretty easy. And those that struggle on that, I'm sorry, you can pay me $20 and I'll great catch you Pokemon if you're next to me. Outside of that, there's you might like this one, Jack. Send 151 gifts to your friends, which means you have to interact with your friends list,
which you should have been fucking doing
exactly.
Already. Shit.
If you haven't gotten the Yeetus Deletus by Jack,
yes.
Thank you for being active. If you have got the Yeetus Deletus by Jack, it's not personal. It's literally just Pokemon gift business.
I like reciprocity. Yes.
Me too.
It's a big thing in relationships, and I take it to games as well.
But anywho, so I'll just rewind it back. And then we're looking at the Stonks. No, I'm kidding.
I was like, no, we're not.
We had Community Day before Kanto event. We had Machop last month, right? January?
I thought it was February. It was January. Then we had Rosalia.
See, forgettable.
Yes,
Rosalia was randomly the
February boy.
The February, which, flowers.
It makes sense.
Kind of makes sense. It's a good shiny.
It's pretty.
I do like the Rosalia shiny.
Like, there is the Valentine's Day week with all the pink Pokemon.
Yeah, and they released shiny. Was it Lomalola or whatever?
Yes, it was that fish. There was that. There was shiny Miltank was out and about.
Yeah, the blue tank, blue milk, blue moo.
Yeah, so that was cool. Like, again, and I think they realized they kind of messed up because then Miltanks were everywhere for that event too. So it gave people another chance. And to me, I wish Niantic would have kept that kind of forethought of, like, wow, the shiny rates weren't really that good, and carry that into Kanto. But obviously, players know how that turned out.
I'm just kind of curious of, like, how they go about deciding, like, what the shiny rates are. Or is there literally a switch or a button where, like,
I think
the shiny rate will be 1 in 50 or 1 in 5,000?
I think it's like the comment you made before when I was talking about the spawn rate for the Spotlight Hours.
Okay.
And simply, there was more shinies because, again, there was more Meltan or more Beldums.
Yeah.
Well, not Beldums. bronzers.
Yeah.
They were just kind of everywhere, which is great. But again, because you're running into them so frequently, that's why you ran into more shinies.
Yeah.
Kanto event, sadly, didn't have the same spawning that it could have for certain Pokemon like Spearow, Paris. The new boys, who these are their first shinies to come out, or Snorlax.
Yeah, Snorlax.
I think I saw Snorlax twice.
Snorlax was a fucking problem in the Kanto event.
Very
and
problematic.
So we'll get into that. So the Kanto event overall, before we get into kind of the
what would you
nuts and
score
bolts
it?
of it, you want to score after or before?
I say give a score before, and then we elaborate as to why.
Okay. Mine's going to be a solid B.
A B?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's like a high B, like 80%, or like mid B, or
well, high B would
plus?
be like 87, right?
Yeah, that's high B.
I would give it a B, like an 86 out of 100.
Okay. I was a little bit more critical of this event, which is
fair.
Again, because I've always given Niantic the benefit of the doubt with trials.
Okay.
There's many trials before this, and it's like you guys had it, you had the trajectory, you had your eye on the prize, and you flop. So like I honestly kind of give this like a D plus.
Oh, okay.
In the sense that, like they like the advertising and everything, like you said, gave us the illusion that there was going to be just all 150 available at once, and you can catch them shiny.
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping for. Like, in my mind, how I fantasized this event was like, okay, when it's Eevee, it's going to be like the Eevee family. It's going to be the starter family. So I was expecting to see like Venusaurs, just like in their advertisement.
Yeah.
We'll see Venusaurs and Charizards and Wartortles and this, and we're going to see them just all about, and I can click them and they could potentially be shiny.
Yeah.
And that's what I was hoping for, because again, that would be better spawns, more variety of spawns, things we've never seen in nature and the Pokemon world.
Yeah.
And you get to catch them.
Well, and it's shit. So the one thing, and I gave it a B, and a decent B, because I did enjoy the event. It was probably the most fun I've had playing Pokemon Go in a while.
Okay.
Even though I was in pain and really tired, exhausted.
Well, kudos to you for coming out. And again, anyone who braved the storm, or if you're in Texas and you still were playing somehow in some way, like
Godspeed,
you guys are fucking troopers if you are. Like,
but for what it's worth, like there were some aspects of it just kind of gave me a little bit of nostalgia, but also like more of an adventure than anything, and that's what I want out of Pokemon Go. Now, naturally, I agree. The spawn rates, the spawn rates too weren't really great. Like they were still decent, but like I wanted more. And then the shiny rates were just abysmal. It felt very much like when we went to Go Fest physically. In which case, again, I know there's a variety of Pokemon out, and that gives you, if it's a 1 in 200 chance to find a shiny, and there's like 30 different Pokemon popping up my map at the same time. That's gonna make it a little bit more difficult to be able to check 200 Paris or 200 Snorlax, because Snorlax was nowhere to be fucking found except for in a snapshot. So I opened the game and I started playing. I caught my starter Pokemon, which they force-fed me, a Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
I caught my starter, because that's what I started with. And then it was like, take a snapshot of your Bulbasaur. And I was like, that's kind of cool. Took a snapshot, big-ass Snorlax pops up. I'm like, oh, sick. I get a chance to check a shiny Snorlax off the rip. Nice. Click on it. Not shiny. Okay, whatever. Cool. I'll run into more Snorlax down the line. This Snorlax ate 25 golden raspberries, 25 Ultra Balls from me. Excellent throw after excellent throw. Could not catch it.
Yeah, I abandoned him in the street.
There was nothing I could do to increase my odds of catching this Pokemon. It was just uncatchable, and I was pissed. And so I started off the event kind of pissed. I was just like, oh my fucking god. Like,
agreed.
I fucking love Snorlax, and I can't even catch one? Like, bro, come on.
Yeah.
So I did to abandon it. I left it at my house when I went to the park. So then, so I caught up with you over at Mission Viejo. And after that kind of got going, the first thing I noticed were the trainers at the Pokestops.
Yes.
And I noticed it because, one, the trainer looked different. It was on my map, popped up on my map, looked like a player character, like someone else's trainer.
Yeah, but what?
Had a name as if it was a player character. So I'm kind of curious how Niantic decided who would be our Pokestop champions, if you will. The people, the Go Challengers is what they labeled them as, or whatever. I'm kind of curious how Niantic came up with that, because they did just kind of pick random it seemed like random peoples. Now there was the same like pool of like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
And they all had the same Pokemon, not as each other, but as,
they repeated their same roster.
And so like at first I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of like our idea. And when I met you, I was like, did they take our idea? Like,
they did.
Be able to make like an avatar of you, so you can physically or trainer battle defend your gym, which is our idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of similar, like, oh, this trainer is here, this challenger is here to defend the Pokestop.
Defend its honor,
I guess. And so for those of you that hated the Rocket battles, I'm sorry, because this is basically a reskin Rocket battle. And then so at first I got there and I thought that was really cool. Again, I felt very adventurous.
Initially, it felt great.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Is like it felt like an adventure. Like, oh, there's trainers popping up on my map. That's awesome. Lock eyes from across the room, And then you get into like, okay, the first hour is Pallet Town, right? So it's all the kind of fodder, common starter Pokemon, Rattata. Your starters.
No Pidgeots. No Venusaurs.
Nothing evolved, which is super fucking weird. Because even in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, you see those evolutions. Now, they're more rare, of course. And what I want to get to regarding that is, like, I paid money for this event. Just go all out with it. I just... Like, and $12 might not be a lot to some people, might be way more than they ever spend on the game to other people, because there's people that won't spend money in the game, which I don't blame you. You don't have to. You don't have to spend money to enjoy or play this game. Is it more difficult? Technically, yeah, because if you have money, you can unlock more bag space or more item space. Or, like, get more raid passes or whatever. However, getting back to the event, like... Why can't I see evolutions on the map?
Well, speaking of that, let's kind of continue. I'll make my comment in a bit later. So what else was adventurous for you? So like the trainers.
So the trainers and like seeing all the Pokemon again, and have like again we talked about it, like the little ribbon, the streamers are coming down. I'm like, oh, it's
confetti
like
goodness.
Very adventurous. I didn't turn on the music, but I imagine the music was similar to like Route 1.
Oh yeah, well they said it was going to be based on the city, so like. They talked about how they had the composer. I wasn't bothering because I wanted to listen to music, like other dance music, like
your grinding music. I got my headphones on and I'm focused on doing this fucking event. But yeah, so like, and if the music was there too, like I said, I didn't really turn it on, but that's just like another layer of kind of that nostalgia cake / like adventurous feeling that I got out of it. And then you had this special quest.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one is like for every themed hour, Pallet Town, Pewter City, Cerulean City, then random jump to Fuchsia City.
Town that no one really knows.
For every one of those hours, you get, you have to catch the certain Pokemon that are exclusive to the hour, and then they wanted you to keep an incense on at all times, which you should be doing in these types of events anyway. So that's where your version exclusive Pokemon came from, so you picked red or green. And then so like that was kind of nice. And so I'm an advocate for having more quests in the game.
Okay.
Just because again, it feels like it's another layer of something for me to do as opposed to just go catch all the pink Pokemon for Valentine's Day. It's like a quest, like gives me more drive to try it out, especially if it unlocks another stage of the quest, which can unlock, eventually it unlocked our shiny Ditto.
Yeah.
And another Snorlax encounter, which wasn't shiny. Could catch it that time. But, like, and I know isn't the monthly reward Snorlax as well?
Yeah, so now, again, if you, after the 20th, you have a chance of running into a shiny Snorlax, and right now, following the event, there's Kanto week. So you have another 6 days plus a new missions to do, and maybe there might be more opportunities for Snorlax.
Okay.
So that's where they're following the same kind of trial like they did with the Miltank whatever event, and then having a week of more Miltanks around. And like me, I was like, should I go try and catch it? I looked at the sign and saw snow. I was like, nope. FOMO is not going to control my life today.
True.
I will get that Snorlax when I get that Snorlax.
So with that, and I think that's kind of where all the goodies end, per se.
Right.
But like my initial jump at the game or at the event was adventurous. It was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed that aspect. I didn't really miss Kanto Pokemon, but seeing Pokemon that were like within the theme Kanto, it was kind of nice to be able to double check to see, all these Pokemon are supposed to be able to be shiny. Gave me a new reason to tap on Rattata or Zubat or whatever, right?
Yes.
So that way I could catch them all and try to shiny check them all. So I kind of enjoyed that aspect, because otherwise I don't give a shit about Kanto Pokemon. But now that they're all able to be shiny, I was like, okay, that would be really fun if I could catch some shiny whatever. And I didn't get my first shiny until like 2 hours in. And who was it? Was it Charmander?
You got Charmander first.
I think it was Charmander was my first one, which, yay.
One we already have.
Question mark? We've had 3 fucking Charmander community days pretty much. Like, and then...
Well, and...
Either way, so like, that's when I started feeling like, what something's wrong with this event, or something's not quite that good. So I would like to get into, and you can go ahead and head this part off. I'd like to get into
I've been waiting.
Things that we've had issues with the event, and things that I wish came out of the event. So if you want to go ahead and...
So my grievances. JackJack grievances hour. So right out the gate, thankfully they didn't have issues like I thought. Like I was like, all right, they're gonna have technical issues the first hour. It went rather smoothly. I didn't have more errors till later. So, but right out the gate though, number one problem I've thought was the bag space.
Okay.
That they didn't offer it. I was waiting, like, I was like, all right, they're going to offer this shit like an hour or so before this event. Like, hey, we increased bag space to another 500.
What's the max right now? 4,000?
4,000. So me, someone who likes to collect, and I like to have, I'm right now kind of running a Lucky Dex, I'm running a Shadow Dex, a Purified Dex, and just a Living Dex in general. So 4 decks. I stopped the baby decks. I need to keep every shiny in my roster. I was like, nope, sorry guys. Like I have 20 Machops and only 3 of you I need. I'm going to transfer the rest of you to my Switch.
Makes sense.
And others, like I went through legendaries, shredding those guys because I was like, I don't need this many Reshurims. I'm sorry, boy. Like you shredded. Latios, I maybe need 3 to 6 of each of you, and then the rest are gone.
Yeah.
So I was getting the best of the best that I could find, and then shredding the rest. And then it was nice because I went from, I think before this event, I started out like 3,800 something, and it was closer to 3,900, and then I got it down to like, I basically chopped it to 3,300 was like my number. Okay. So that's like that's a lot of work.
Of when I was waiting at the doctor for my neck shit, I think I texted you. I was like, I think I cleared about 500, almost 600 Poké space. Same. For this event, and the only reason I cleared that much space for fucking Kanto Pokemon was I thought that they could all, or that they would all be shiny. Yes. Or whatever. So I was definitely hunting for specific ones. Really wanted the Hitmonchan. Really wanted that Snorlax. I really wanted Vulpix. I did get Vulpix. I really wanted Ditto. That came as a special request or special research. Though I do wish I could have found it in the wild. We only got that one in the special research, and then one more as a research and
that's
or whatever.
And that's where just the encounters themselves, like we mentioned before, it should have been whole families. So like the full evolution line should have been available in the game. during those windows.
And so we'll give you a couple of quick ideas, Niantic. If you're going to charge money for this event, $12, $15, whatever, $20 for GoFest, right?
Well, I figure we'll save all of like the good critique stuff after we do our Vent Fest.
Well, this is kind of going into that, but I was just going to say, like, bag space? You're charging me $12? Give me 500 bag space.
Easy. That would
solve a lot of problems.
That would have been nice. So there was that. Incenses and lures weren't given 3-hour windows.
Yeah, so I have to keep stacking them.
Yeah, like I use so many, and I was kind of upset about it. I think this is the first time in a long time I've actually bought lures.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of annoyed me. And the reason why I bring up the lures is because the second half, so after we met up for lunch, I went and I chilled out a parking lot with a lot of stops because I was like, all right, I'm going to sit, I'm going to eat, and I'm going to just catch Pokemon as I'm kind of playing low-key. I decided to turn on Chris's account.
Okay.
Just to see what the spawn rates were. I had him with an incense and I was playing in a lured area. I maybe had per hour a 5 Pokemon difference between an event I paid for and an event I did not.
Yeah.
So to me, that shows me that they didn't do a good job with the spawn rates.
No, they were bad.
For that. And again, like I would sit there at a lure and I'm like, it should be raining Pokemon. Yeah. Like it has for many other community days prior.
And so
what's going on?
An event like this that you were going to pay money for, it's a tour event, it's an all-day event. The easiest one we can compare it to is GoFest.
Yeah.
And GoFest, they literally like have that switch. So if you bought the ticket, you remember the park at Chicago?
Yeah.
Versus like if you bought the ticket versus if you didn't. They didn't shut the game down for people that didn't have tickets. They kept the game the exact same. It's just if you had that ticket and you're in that park, it was just like boom, like spawns on spawns on spawns on spawns, and all the other special stops that they dropped. Like in this Kanto event, what if they had dropped special Kanto stops or like green red stops or something that
there should have been.
You know,
there. Well, and that's where it'll get to the little critique stuff, but
yeah,
that's where that was a problem I had was like the hours or the duration of them should have been longer. And again, these are just out the gate. Where I was just like, what the fuck? But I was like, whatever, I'm going to play. I want to see what the fully has. Then you get to the Rocket or to the Challengers. I don't mind battling, but one thing I was very thankful for was, again, having my Pokeball Plus to spin the stuff for me, just so I wouldn't have to interact with them once I was done with the missions to fight them.
Yeah.
Because they were just, anyone who's faced the Rockets frequently, like I've definitely like 2,000 plus battles with these guys, and now having the Challengers, I was like, these Challengers were everywhere. Like, it made me almost miss the Rockets because they weren't around. Or I had one balloon that got in the way per usual, but these Challengers were everywhere, and I couldn't avoid them. If I hit a stop, sometimes it'd freeze a game. Like, I'd hit it, it would load up, but I was trying to click a Pokemon, and somehow it'd access it. So I had to shut down my game a couple times.
Yeah.
To just do that, which meant resyncing and everything. So first world problem, that was my problem. Going in, again, spawn rates weren't the best. Shiny rates, I was fortunate, on the fortunate end of shiny rates, but I ran into many people who just, it was by far the worst thing that they've had.
Yeah, like, I got 6 total with Ditto being one of those.
Fuck.
Yeah. Like I said, it felt very much like GoFest.
Yeah.
For me,
and
physically there.
That's how I was kind of reasoning to people who I ran into. They're just like, I ran into 2, and I'm like, and one of them being Ditto, and I was just kind of like, in my mind, I'm like, Niantic, like how... And it made me just think back to all the other regional events that people bought passes for in the past, where they're like, you had this feature Pokemon, like a regional feature Pokemon, and I can only encounter them in encounters, and that was it. Like, through missions. Yeah. And that was it. Like, they're just not around like I thought they were. And I was like, again, these trials should have shown them, hey, people weren't too thrilled about that. And even then, like, the opportunity to get Ditto again. I thought there were just going to be Dittos in the wild.
Yeah. Like, that's all I was happening. Like, I was catching Pidgeys and Rattatas, like, Ditto. right? Ditto, right?
No, but it's like
no O,
not beesh.
Yeah, like,
and we had our guaranteed shiny one, which again, thank you. Like that should have been. I'm glad that was part of the package.
Yeah.
I just wanted more opportunities to get more of them.
Yeah, I do.
And they
I
just
do feel like
dropped the ball.
overall, I did get. I mean, we got kind of gypped on the value of the $12 per se.
Yeah, and that's where like the other part was, and it was something I brought up in the while we were doing our trades, was they didn't also change kind of the special trades or trades in general critiques. So one of the comments I had to Justin while we were playing was, imagine if you just started playing this game and you had to trade the Pokemon between the different versions, so red and green. If you have never had a Sandshrew, and this is your first ever Sandshrew, and it's not, you obviously don't have the version, that's considered a special trade, and then you're locked out.
Yeah.
And I don't remember reading that anywhere, like, oh no, you can do all these trades. I didn't see that anywhere, so if that was a completely new Dex entry, you'd kind of be fucked on those missions because you wouldn't be able to finish that part.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know anyone that was in that situation to ask. I want to say, I feel like Niantic would have allowed it between the two versions.
They would have pardoned the peasants.
As long as each member has a pass that they purchased, and they're making a trade with those Pokemon.
Yeah.
That they would let it go, but outside of that, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was the other way around.
Yeah,
and like, oh, that was just an oversight on our part. Sorry.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is the need that I feel like you legitimately did have to play almost a full fucking 12 hours to maximize your shiny chances.
Agreed.
Like, I was playing, sitting in my car outside of a park with a lure and an incense as the snow was pouring down, like, staying warm. I had, like, my snacks. I had my snack plan. I had my game plan of how I was going to try to play as long as I could near a stop. And there was people who were coming and going, like, people sitting in their cars for 2 hours running the engine. I'm like, fucking fools. Like, I'm sitting here with a blanket. I'm just going to tough this shit out. Because, again, I'm not rolling in money like that. It just sucked because there was no, like, I didn't really take a break. Like, I was ignoring text messages. And, again, these are personal choices.
Yeah.
Niantic did not twist my arm like, bitch, you better fucking play this game. They didn't. But in order to maximize my time, I stayed playing. And I'm glad I did. I got a lot of shinies at the very end hours.
Yeah.
But, again, dropping the ball with the shiny rates and the amount of Pokemon present, things were showing up. Like, I was sitting in the parking lot with an incense sitting in the radius, and I would still, like, my incense on myself was spawning more than the lure that was there at the park. And I was like, how is this possible, you know?
Yeah.
Even during the Pokemon League 2-hour window, 7 to 9, I was like, I think I saw more Pidgeys, or not Pidgeys, Spearows and Paris then than I did during their 2 respective hour slots.
Yeah.
During the day. And I was just like, this is silly, you know? And the weather for the most part wasn't bad. It wasn't like, it was sunny for a while, but even then I wasn't seeing plants everywhere like Paris and things of that nature. And I'm like, where are these boys at?
Well, no, that's here. Like, it kind of, pulls into question, because we bring it up a good amount of times, is like, if you don't live in a dense area, like, like a more rural town or whatever, and you're playing Pokemon Go, that had to have felt awful. You're sitting there with a lure and an incense. Your incense is popping more than the lure is, and you're still only getting, like, 10 Pokemon an hour or some bullshit like that. Like, that's insane, especially for an event that you paid for.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying. They boost the spawn rates, in general.
Make it insane.
Yeah.
I should be drowning in Pokemon.
Yeah. Overwhelm me.
I hit a rock and hit 10 of them.
Give me 500 Pokemon storage when I buy the ticket, and then give me a reason to fill up that fucking 500 storage immediately.
Yeah.
Which is dropping 30 fucking Pokemon on my feet everywhere I go,
Yeah.
Just make it worthwhile, because I think that would have helped with the shiny rate issue a little bit, is if there were more to check, because it's just, it's just like a little heartbreaking to clear out a whole fucking park of Pokemon, and only four out of 4,000 were shiny, or whatever. And again, I usually don't weigh things based on how lucky I was with my shinies. It's just when you advertise it as, hey, there's 151 Pokemon in Kanto region, guess what? They're all going to be able to be shiny. It's like, okay, I can tap on every Pokemon and, oh, shiny, nice. Because I still get, that with serotonin or whatever, that little boost of like happy feelings when I encounter a shiny. Even if it's a shiny I already have a ton of. I'm just like, oh, wow.
It's nice.
The little sparkles are cool.
We're easily entertained.
Yeah, and that. It's just like, I think, and I'll probably end up regrading after discussing it further because I guess I didn't think about it that much. But I think I would have liked to see more bang for my buck in that regard. Oh, and maybe that's me being selfish or asking for a lot, but I feel like we should because, people were going to pay for the ticket anyway. I'd be curious to see what the numbers are of the people that did buy the ticket. Like Carla, she bought the ticket in Japan.
I'm honestly surprised they didn't give like a survey.
Yeah.
Because I think a survey in this would help. Because again, me playing on Chris's account, our spawn rates were pretty identical. Much the same. Yeah. And I think it angered me because I went to click this up. I'm like, oh, good, there's no challenger. He still had the challengers in his too, and I was like, motherfucker! Like, I was so pissed. I was like, I just want to spin a stop without someone being there knowingly.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't always show the trainer just standing there.
Right.
Like for his, it didn't show the trainer. I would spin the stop, and it's like, hey, do you want to battle? I'm like, no, I really don't want to battle. Yeah, leave me the fuck alone.
It would have been nice to be able to either just turn off trainers battling in general.
Yes,
like I think there should be like an option in your menu. Like I know because people just refuse to PvP or just battle in general, which I don't. I can't blame them or feel one way or the other about. Because some people don't enjoy that aspect of it, and some people don't enjoy getting their asses kicked 900 times in a row. I understand that, but it's an integral part of the game, both here and an integral part of the RPG series on various handhelds, Game Boy, Switch, etc. And an integral part of the Pokemon experience. But I understand not wanting to do that. So like. In some cases, you can find fun ways around them in the RPGs, or you can
you just avoid their line of sight.
Versus in this game, it would be nice to either turn them off, turn off battling, or like give me like an anti-person incense to where like if I have it on, I go to a stop, there's nothing there.
A cloak.
Yeah, a cloak.
Give me a cloak. Give me a mustache. I think that'd be even better.
Yeah.
Just give me a pair of like the fake glasses with a mustache, and I could walk past a person and they'll just become a
so then I tap on the stop. I don't get bombarded with LXQ09. Hey, you want to battle? Fight my Geodude or some bullshit like that. Because like on the one hand, like I said, I like seeing more things populated in the game. I think it gives it a nice flavor, a little bit different. Because like the first time you play like Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu, or even Pokemon Sword and Shield, is like when you're out in the wild, those Pokemon are appearing everywhere.
And see, I think,
and they're in towns.
I think that's what would satisfy your taste for like for population.
Yeah.
In the game would be if they would have given more variety of Pokemon.
That would help.
Just to be out there. Like,
for sure.
Having a person there would have been dope.
Yeah.
Eventually, I hope they get to the point where like trainers could just be standing in various parts of the map.
Yeah.
And you don't know who the fuck they are, and you like walk over to them. They're not a stop, but they're just like an interest part. And maybe Niantic could venture into that. I think they have many abilities.
Yeah.
Or they just say every area is going to have just a sprinkling of characters you can interact with, maybe get an item from, or they might randomly give you Pokeballs.
Yeah.
Just like in the game. Because that was always awesome. Like, you run into something like, oh, I taught my Pokemon this. Maybe you could teach yours this, and gave us TMs.
Yeah.
And that's what this event also showed me, is people's Pokemon Go players' knowledge versus people who played the Game Boy games and play Pokemon Go. Because there's people like, what would show up here? I have zero idea. Which, again, this is a great opportunity to learn and be like, oh, this area had this. But that's also where Google's your best friend too. You could take stabs in the dark, but again, that's not too important. But yes, I would agree that they should have a toggle. Or the other thing is, if you want to just battle these people, that's an option in your battle section. Just like you could go battle
like
trainers in the training.
You battle your trainers.
You could just have
your team leaders.
Yeah, you can have the tour challengers right there. Again, thinking of people who aren't buy stops.
Yeah.
Or limited, because I don't expect kids to be able to just travel to these areas quick. A lot of
Right.
adults can, because we have, like means of transportation. But like thinking of that, or just density of stops, being able to just challenge someone when you want to challenge them and spare us all these additional mechanics could also be an option for Niantic if you're.
Would you want that for
we know
rockets?
You're listening.
Would you want that for rockets too?
Rockets,
or do you think rockets should still be by stops?
Rockets need a lot of work. I bitched about that before, where you get the radar and you can no longer collect pieces. Yeah. I think that's stupid.
That is pretty dumb.
I think if you're able to buy million, or obviously million is like super vague or exaggeratory or whatever, you can buy more than one rocket radar, but you can't collect more than 6. Or if you have a radar, you can't get a piece anymore, but you could still run into them.
Yeah.
I think is a flaw.
Yeah.
You should be able to stack up as many as you want and then encounter as many of those people as you want, as many of the leads as you want.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I think
and eventually Niantic won't be cowards and give us shiny shadows for the regular grunts. Get on that.
For real though. I think the other going back to your point though about my sense of adventure, I really do think they should have let whole families be able to be wild. And even if it's like, you can still make the third evolutions rare, like Nidoking, Nidoqueen, Charizard, Venusaur, whatever. Make them hard to find, but make them still out there.
Because they've done it before.
Because I would have loved
wild Venusaur and Charizard.
How cool would it be to see like War Turtle out in the wild? Yes. Like shit like that, and like it's not.
And
like
they could potentially be shiny.
Yeah, like that would increase my enjoyment of it tenfold.
Yes.
The other thing was like, and this kind of ties into the next complaint that I think you and I both had about it. But like, this was a great opportunity to test having roaming legendaries or legendaries out in the wild.
Yes.
So like, if you imagine you're playing the game, you're at the park, you're getting a Dairy Queen Blizzard or something. You open up
good stuff.
You open up your game and like, oh shit, there's literally an Articuno in the parking lot, or there's an Articuno just out in the wild, and you encounter it and you can catch it in your Pokeball if you're nuts, or which I mean, I guess you could have done that in the research, but like you caught one in the wild, not just a raid, not a research box or whatever. You caught it in the wild. Like that would be fun.
Yeah,
that would be a lot of fun, and this is a great opportunity to do that. And the regionals, I think I understand why, and I don't agree with it, but they locked the regionals, the OG originals. So that's Tauros, Farfetch'd, Mr. Mime, and Kangaskhan. They locked those, and then the legendaries, the legendary birds, Articuno, Moltres, and Zapdos, and Mewtwo in raids. They're all behind a raid wall. And so that was an issue that you and I both have problems with. Is to this day, I still think the raid system needs to be overhauled.
Definitely.
There's something about it. It's just there's nothing fun about raiding.
Yeah, there's wait times that are frustrating.
Yep.
There's coordination with raid invites for remote raiding, which is very frustrating.
There's a max amount of remote raid people I can have in a raid.
In a lobby, which is frustrating. So like, there's just so much there that Niantic. Honestly, my suggestion, like I was telling Justin, is to have a cascading raid lobby. So as soon as it fills, a new lobby automatically forms. It just starts
a new one. You don't have to jump into it.
Yeah, or like, because I remote raid a lot, and it's very frustrating because the time lapse between them setting the pass and you getting it varies greatly on your connectivity, your network.
Yeah.
And that can either make or break you being able to battle at that moment.
Yeah, because like they'll just run the hypothetical. You send me a raid invite. Say you're in Albuquerque, New Mexico, for no reason, and I'm still here, and you're like, hey, I want Justin to join me in this raid. This happens to me and Carl all the time. I want Justin to join me on this raid. You send me the raid invite. It doesn't pop up on my screen, or if my game's closed, I'll get the notification on my phone. It'll be like, hey, JackJack1620 wants to raid, or wants, to do whatever with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have to wait for my game to open, which doesn't take too long, admittedly, but it still takes time. And I didn't realize, hey, that raid, he sent that 30 seconds ago. So I have to open it, and then I have to wait for whatever messages to pop up, and then try to swipe them away. Open up my little tab thing to go join the raid. I have to sit through the stupid raid boss animation of it on the gym, screaming at me. And then when I finally can tap the whole enter raid, I don't see a number on there, first of all, of how many people are in that lobby. Secondly, I tap on it, and it'll either say, this lobby has reached the max amount of remote players available, or I do get in 2 seconds, everyone else has jumped out, it's a 5-star, I get locked into the battle, I now have to battle because I will lose my raid pass no matter what.
Yep.
It's just there's so many frustrating variables to it. It's just
yeah. To me, once the raid lobby hits max, I think it should lock and be like, do you want to start?
Yeah.
And you just start. Obviously, that could be problematic because you have people who are impatient, or their buddy didn't get in and they drop last minute.
Well, that's one of those, it's going to send that message to everyone in the lobby.
Yeah.
Start now? Yes, no.
Yeah. Well, that's also where I feel like if people drop last second, it should extend that window just a bit. Because if you have a last minute drop, if you drop more than the recommended number, that's when I think it should give you a little bit extra time, so it gives someone else a chance to hop in.
I agree.
I think that'd be cool.
But either way, the whole system is just a pain in my ass. Animations are things I like the animations, the little flourishes in the game.
They need to be
I don't
off.
like sitting through all of them all the time. If there's a way to skip them, if there's a way to just turn them off, I would very much welcome it, because how many times have you gone through trades and you have to sit through that trade animation?
Honestly, I kind of wish they'd treat it like notification on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to see it on your screen? Do you want a little header?
Yeah.
Or do you just want it to be a quick notification and it's gone?
Yeah.
A sliding drop bar to this just evolved and it goes away on its own. I kind of wish Niantic would figure out a way to do that. So hatching. Yep. Hatching while catching is the worst.
Yeah.
Or hatching when you're trying to go into a timed raid, because you're shit, this has 10 more seconds. You're trying to hop us surprise, bitch.
Yeah.
Your 2K just decided to hatch right now.
I was
you're not even boarded.
Especially when you have all your eggs synced at the same time, so they all hatch at the same time.
The worst.
And there's no way to skip that animation. So you have to wait for it. Oh, I couldn't get into the raid lobby. So your options are A, you just miss out on the raid, or B, have everyone jump out to let you back in.
Yes.
Which wastes another 2 minutes.
Yes.
Because there's no way to quick start that raid.
And
there's no way... Yeah, and there's legitimately nothing else you can do. You sit in that lobby, you can kind of open your item bag to look at what things have I spent money on that I haven't used yet? Oh, I guess I can use a lucky egg. And then then you're sitting in that lobby. You can tap on other players to see how many Pokemon they've caught or whatever. Fun. Yeah. Versus... if you could just enter a lobby, swipe that down, so on the very bottom or very top bar is you're in lobby, has a little timer countdown for when that raid starts. You're zoomed back into your map. You can you can shiny check things, you can catch things, you can do whatever else. And then 10 seconds before the raid is about to begin, maybe it zooms back into the raid lobby or something for you, or whatnot, or it just starts. While it's in that minimized tab, because you just don't need that. You don't need to sit there
other part
for an hour.
Where the raid could be better is if you got to kind of pick what you see. So I think where the game struggles a lot is trying to load all the different player avatars. Okay. I always see glitches with it when I play.
Yeah.
To me, it's just like the maps. So any day one homies who caught Pokemon, it used to show you the map of where you caught it with the street map. And they eventually just got rid of it because it's an extra detail no one really needs. I kind of wish you had that setting for raids. So it's how would you like your window to be? Would you like to be able to still be playing Pokemon? Would you like to sit in the lobby or not? And you set your preference. So if you like to see other trainers, sure, by all means do it. I just would want to see a number of trainers in the lobby the timer, and I can just check my Pokemon real quick, make sure my team's good, and then I'm good to go.
For some reason, the first thing that popped into my head was like, basically like what you could do is you could tab like raid roster, and it's just like a little window that slides over, and it just gives you the head of each of the trainers in there, instead of having to load their whole body or whatever that they're or pose or whatever. It's just like there's JackJack 1620, like your trainer head with your Mimikyu hat or whatever. And then there's my trainer head, and then like that's how it shows you the roster if they still want to be visual about it. But I agree, it would be nice to be like, hey, there's just 19 people in here. I don't need to know who's in here. I just need to know, hey, is there enough people to do it? Because the whole like team alignment doesn't fucking matter anymore.
Sometimes I just have it to where it's just like blank.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my phone is struggling trying to show all this to me. And I'm like, this is just absolutely silly.
Yeah, so I would be very interested in an all-out mode for higher-end phones that people spend over $1,000 on.
Crazy.
Which is all your flagship phones nowadays are over $1,000. But like, so there's like a version of the game that way, and then there's like a minimalist version where you could do shit like that, where like the trainer, like if you have to know who's in it, at least just do like a list, like a trainer name list.
Yeah. Like, if that's really important to you, by all means, or you have to see how they're dressed. I'm like, okay.
In Pokemon Go Minimal, it's like you only see trainer list. There's no animations, or you can skip animations, or just turn it off in your setting. You'll never have to worry about music again because it didn't even download music into the game file.
That should just be a default thing for just the game itself. Is do you want music on or off?
Yeah,
instead of every time you log out.
Setting, not a game setting.
Jesus Christ,
not an instance setting.
That's something
shit like that. So Pokemon Go Minimal, we're gonna make it. Niantic, listen to me,
please. Well, back to Kanto. So with the game itself, with Kanto. Next, if you guys decide to do another tour or another safari event, default setting should be bag space provided to some degree, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But the default should definitely be 3-hour incense and 3-hour lures. And maybe if you want to do a special thing, maybe your star piece lasts longer. I haven't seen that in quite some time. Like star piece lasting longer or your lucky egg lasting longer. I think would be cool. But again, that's not a super important thing because some people don't care about their experience. Some people don't care about Stardust. That's why you can do that as you wish. But I think for the incense and lures, those would be dope. Because people are out and it's going to spawn the things that you want. You're going to get more people playing. I think they did a good idea with having the 5 free raid passes. That's great. That's cool. If you want to do raiding, if raiding is not really important to you, that's not really a good benefit. But lures and incense definitely are, because that's something that players will benefit from and other players can benefit from.
Yeah.
So that should definitely be a default. Shiny rates, again, you should have just upped it. Like there's no reason not to.
Yeah, up it and give me a shiny charm for my troubles.
And see, I much rather would have preferred. In my opinion, I would have just preferred instead of encountering... I think about like anyone who's playing Sword and Shield have encountered these trees that you can hit and the Pokemon drops from them. I kind of wish the stop was like that. So it just has like a little icon and you just hit it and like the featured Pokemon could drop from it and you have the chance to like battle that. And it refreshes every 10 minutes.
Okay.
That would have made me feel better in terms of like regionals that I might need, but obviously the regionals weren't the focus. The focus was like all the other new boys that we don't have. Spearow, Paris, Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee, and then some of your regional or your game exclusive, which would be
Vulpix and Bellsprout.
Vulpix, Bellsprout, Growlithe, like all those boys should have been a little bit more plentiful there. I ran into numerous amounts of Growlithe. I surprisingly did not get a shiny Growlithe. And I caught every single one. Like I was not letting Pokemon pass me by without catching it at minimum. I think occasionally, like Snorlax, I left that bitch alone because I'm like, you're eating all my Pokeballs. I'm done with you.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I only ran into 2 Snorlax. One was Snapshot, one was a quest. So. And
that's where they should have been more plentiful.
Agreed. So I want better spawn rates in general for this type of event. Like I said, just rain Pokemon.
Yeah.
And then either increase the shiny rate or give us better opportunities to increase the shiny rate.
This event should have been a full weekend.
And that too, like,
it should have been a weekend.
And I was kind of surprised, like, you opened it today and there's still, like, Kanto shit because it's for Kanto week or whatever. But, like, if you're gonna, it's weird because, you know, they give you the two options or the 2 layers of, like, time slots, right? So they did, like, the first 4 hours worth of the game, and then they reset it and they do that same 4 hours worth starting with Pallet Town, Pewter, Cerulean, Fuchsia, I guess 5 hours each. But either way. So you're already breaking it up that way. That way, like, people have more opportunities to play when they want to play. Because, like, it would have been nice to be able to only have to play for half the day and still feel fulfilled. I played for half the day because I was in pain and I was really tired. So I went home and I napped for 5 hours.
Jesus Christ.
Quote unquote napped.
That's a
you ended up playing for the next 5 hours.
Yeah.
And that's the only way you felt like you got any sort of worth out of this event was because you had to play from dawn until dusk, you know, and past dusk, really. You waded through more snow, big fat wet snow, and to make it worth it. That's kind of weird. Like,
I felt less stressed playing like at Go Fest, but again, like, this event shouldn't have had stress. It was meant to be fun.
Yeah.
And again, I chose to be out there. I made my grown decision to play this game for the duration in hopes of more shinies, which I did get. But again, I should be able to play kind of at my leisure. It should be the point of this.
Yeah. And
still have like a decent turnout. Because again, talking to players like you and other players who were just like, I haven't encountered much and I've been playing since 9 a.m. Like, dedicated players were still having these issues. They weren't just spawning. If I was to play with the spawn rates at Community Day for this, I technically should have had 60-something Pokemon. Because Community Day, they're just fucking dropping. I'm just like, yes, make it rain. But this was not the case. How did this, which was twice as long as our reformed Community Days, having less spawn rates?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
No. And so
make it make sense, Niantic.
Yeah. So I do like, again, the split because not everyone can play for 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
Because like one hand I was like, well, why don't they do it so where they represent every city in the game and like they make it actual like thematic towards that. So during the Pewter City hour, you can go battle Brock the gym leader at a gym, and then if I do have to fight fucking trainers at Pokestops, that they're all just rock type gym leaders or whatever, or gym trainers. But aside from that, you know, like again, they want to maintain flexibility and some semblance of what you would call it, kind of like an easygoing.
Well, and that's the other part that didn't make it easygoing was all the missions. The part that I wish Niantic would just drop, but again, this is me just being a picky bitch, is the whole like hashtag Pokemon Go Tour, and it's showing photos of people. And I'm like, you bitches aren't playing the game. Like, go and play. Like, stop trying to do this. Like, send photos of yourself playing with your Pokemon. Like, right now, I'm just trying to catch things. If this is somehow affecting my game and slowing me down because it's loading your image, I'm getting mad.
Yeah, but that's just companies nowadays. It's social engagement.
I love social engagement. Just keep it on the social networks like Twitter and things of that nature, or Instagram.
No, they want to entice you to post up on their socials
by
showing it to you in game.
No me gusta.
Look how fun that person was having with his shiny Aerodactyl.
No.
Yep.
No me gusta.
Yep. That's why it's there.
Hard no. So,
but that's one of those things where it would have been nice. Pokemon Go minimal, hide a lot of shit because like that. The other thing that was really obnoxious with the Kanto event, which Niantic you're gonna fix, I hope you fix,
please,
is the way that the quests or the challenges went. So it's like you start off with your version exclusive challenge, which is catch all the Pokemon that are exclusive to your version. Mm-hmm. Then it's like the Pallet Town challenge, which is like each themed hour had like 10 Pokemon that you had to catch.
Yes.
To meet that challenge. However, after you finish the challenge, it just stayed the fuck there. And they didn't bump them down to where the next challenge that you have to complete slides to the top of the list. They just kept it in order. So every time I had to check, what Pokemon do I still have to evolve? I have to like swipe over.
You know what's funny?
Pull that list all the way up. And then like eventually I took a snapshot of it, pulled the snapshot up on a different device so I could just check it quicker that way.
So extra.
And I'm just like... There's no fucking reason that I need to do that. I should be able to like move that list to the top, or just make it simple.
Yeah,
and like get rid of all the stuff I've already completed.
To me, I think one thing that frustrates me the most is that they have the coding already. If anyone's pursuing level 50, or for those who've achieved it, so congrats, Skip.
Yeah,
he's one guy who I know that got it.
Big Bone 33.
Yes, but as you kind of do these level things and you accomplish them in your quest for the levels, as soon as you complete it, it gives you that reward. Yeah. Automatic. You don't have to go and click it. I don't know why. That's my first world problem also with this, is as you complete them, just give us that reward. Have it as a pop-up like you do for the when you spin a Pokestop. Oh, you completed this? Here's your goodies. So I don't have to keep clicking that shit.
The catharsis of me clicking the redeem button.
I know that's how they programmed it, playing with our psyche of like, this is the reward system, and you have to see it to feel it. I don't.
Pokemon, all my hard work is paying off.
Pokemon Go minimal.
I got 4 Nanab berries.
Have an 8-bit version, and me being able to simplify my menu.
Are you talking about Pokemon Go minimal?
Yes.
I'm sorry, that's gonna happen, bro.
I want that shit because
Let's go Niantic. You want to make even more money on this?
Jesus, like if you could offer that, I'd be on cloud 9. She's like, yeah, we'll give you less coding, but I'm gonna charge you maybe like $1. I'd be like, done. Please take this out. I don't need this. I don't need to see the evolution cycle. This isn't Sailor Moon. I don't need to see this every fucking time I evolve. If I could mass evolve things, give it to me, please. Thank you.
True, I did watch those Sailor Moon transformations a lot as a kid.
I'm sure you did. I'm not down the slightest. But back to Kanto, there's a lot where they're like growth. What things I liked? The confetti. I did like the confetti. I'm easily entertained by flying things.
I'm telling you, I love the atmosphere.
I liked the mission to catch all 151. I thought that was a dope touch. Yeah. Granted, it got very frustrating to find all of them. The trainers I thought were cool for the first 30 minutes, and then the other 11 and a half hours, I dreaded them.
Yeah, it's just like, wow, now you're just in my fucking way. All I want is to spin the stop real quick.
Yes, I'm trying to just get my Pokeballs.
I'm really looking for that shiny Hitmonchan.
Give me him.
He's literally standing on top of this trainer, and I cannot tap the Hitmonchan because the trainer is standing right there.
Well, and I literally missed 3 Hitmonlees that way.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't click it, or I would click the trainer and it like froze, and then it gave me the little spinning like Halo of Death, like you click the Pokemon, but I'm not going to show you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And I was like, well, fuck you too then. Fuck you too.
I don't mind the trainers in the game just for like the atmosphere of it, but give me a Switch.
Yeah.
Turn them off, or if you're going to have them in and you don't want to show them and keep your game looking boring, just put them in the battle tab.
That's all I want.
Especially if you're going to make them, quest dependent. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, and we already mentioned some of the other things I would have liked to see. Like I said, this is a perfect opportunity for better spawn rates and better shiny rates. But outside of that, perfect opportunity to try out like legendaries in the wild. You imagine, like I said, just like any of the birds, Mewtwo just chilling out in the wild. Like, you remember when Pokemon Go first came out and everyone flocked? Like, I don't know if it was a video on like the news. And everyone ran over for
that
like a Vaporeon or a Blastoise.
I remember the Blastoise on the beach, and people lost their shit.
Yeah. Like, that's insane. It'd be maybe not quite that ridiculous, but pretty close.
Well, I just imagine it just like at Dratini Park. When they're like, Dratini!
You just see like 500 nerds.
I just imagine like that Jurassic Park scene, like those are like, are those Gallimimus? And they're just like flocking down. That's what it looked like. So if you want the visual, watch Jurassic Park. I think it's like probably like 50 minutes in. It's when Dr. Goldblum or whatever is with the 2 kids in the park. And the
Dr. Goldblum?
Something like that. No, Dr. Grant is with the 2 kids. Sorry. I need to be specific. No, Jeff Goldblum, his character's off. He had hurt himself. It's Dr. Grant in the park with the 2 kids. But that scene is a very fitting description for how trainers are when there's a rare Pokemon like that.
It's true.
And I think it would have made it better because, again, having things like a shiny Charizard be visible. And again, they can show shiny forms. I've seen it. Like back, I think it was the Krogunk. If you had a shiny encounter, because you can't have shiny encounters, it'll show up on your screen as a shiny. And you can click it just like Smeargle will show up. It can be shiny like that. So to me, that's just something that would have been a quick, hey, let's adjust the effects to show it, because then you know who to run for at that point. That'd be cool.
I'm just saying,
I think those are better trials to do than overloading us with things that like people weren't. I don't know anyone who's asked like, hey, I want more people to interfere with me hitting a stop.
That was me. I asked.
Please bring it.
I asked for it.
This is exactly what I want.
I said, make my Pokemon world feel more like a world, okay? It's a vacuum of emptiness.
They took it and just like
I know.
spit on it and like made it the worst possible version of itself.
Oh my god. But no, like it's just weird. Like when you're gonna market yourself and like prey on the people that want the shinies the most.
Yes.
By being like, hey, all 151 are in the game right now for this whole event. All of them can be shiny. Come play. And you only show me a collective 50 Pokemon in the wild out of that 151. Everything else is through quests or whatever. And then, like, you don't even let their evolutions be out in the wild. Because, like, I would have loved to see Charizard, which I think is overdone. But Charizard out in the wild. Dragonite, Dragonairs out in the wild.
Yes, the majestic wiggle worms.
Just like, oh my god, that's a Dragonair. Woo! That'd be sick. It was just kind of...
That Rhyhorn, Rhydon, Parasect.
Yeah, Parasect. We used to see those in the wild quite a bit.
Yeah, I saw them more in the wild before this event.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
No, I just don't understand.
It makes zero sense. Dodrio.
Fearow.
Like, so many.
Sandslash.
Yes. I didn't, like...
Sandslash.
Grimer, Muck, like, Golbats. Like, again... They dropped the ball there. Hunter, Gengar would have been sweet to just see like popping up and shit. For? Yes. Like silly shit like that. Alakazam, Machamps.
Yeah, and it's weird because it felt like they wanted to, instead of let those families be out in the wild, they're like, oh, we're going to force them to evolve because that's an integral part of the Pokemon experience. Or something like that. In which case, how many EVs did you go through to get Jolteon?
20.
Yeah. You had to catch at least, like, imagine if you weren't already sitting on Eevee. Like,
oh no, I wasn't sitting on Eevee.
Yeah.
I literally, because I had evolved a bunch, because he was one of the ones I maxed out.
Yeah.
So I not only had to find Eevee, I had to farm candy in order to evolve them, and then without the name trick, which again we didn't have.
Yeah.
I was just at Niantic's mercy. Even like Goldeen, I had no Goldeen candy because I had evolved a bunch up, and lo and behold. I had to do that. Yeah, I'm looking at the advertisement right now, and I see Snorlax. I see a Chansey hanging out. I see a Charizard coming down to murder it. Yet, they weren't around.
Where was Chansey?
Chansey showed up for the first hour, I believe.
No. I didn't see Chansey. That's why I'm asking
I did
where was Chansey.
No, fuck. When was Chansey? I think it might have been like the league.
Are you sure that was the league one? Yeah,
I think it was the league. But even then, like, I was just like, whack.
Like, yeah. I also felt bad for all the skipped cities.
I was like, I was reading through it
like,
because I was like, all right, Cinnabar's going to be here. This, like,
yeah.
You're going to have, like, the Ghost Town. You're going to have all these others. And it's like, Saffron City.
Got a couple minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, I'm going to reevaluate my... I'll give it a C. I still enjoyed it. There's just a lot of things that they can work on. The next time I want to see this type of event, like in this year, it's the 25th anniversary of Pokemon, 25th anniversary of Kanto, technically. Yeah. I want to see this type of event. I would do a big time paid event for like Halloween.
If they made it legit.
Like, no, that's what I mean. Like a whole special quest tied to it. You get every fucking ghost Pokemon, and the keystone Pokemon is Mimikyu this year or something like that. and like
Do it, Niantic.
you're doing an
Son of a
adventure with a
bitch.
Mimikyu or something, and you're going through and exploring spooky stories or whatever in Pokemon Go, and like
And you can have, if you could run into a shiny Mimikyu,
that's what I'm
but
saying.
still Mimikyu just be out and about,
Yeah,
and they could also potentially be shiny. Just give us what we want.
yeah,
My
that's what I'm saying. Like,
goodness.
I would love to see this type of event. Obviously, fix the issues that we have with it. Do it even better. But could you
Do a
imagine-
survey.
Could you
You're
imagine
gonna get a
that
lot of feedback
for
if you do.
for like a Halloween event? If Halloween's perfect for it, to be honest,
It is.
because you can do a great special quest. Just don't give me Spiritomb for the 3rd year or 4th year in a row. You know, like. Do something big, because like this is the year that Mimikyu will probably be great, because Gen 7 will be out towards the end of the year, and beginning of next year, if they stay on the same sort of schedule. But that's what I was saying. Like, if you could fix these issues, like I can only just imagine how great a Halloween event would be. But anyway, that was it. That's the Kanto event. I had some fun.
So it had an average of a C minus.
So it still passes, but
It passes, but just like
not great, Bob.
they missed.
Great, Bob.
They missed the shot
They did
horribly.
But hopefully I never have to see Kanto Pokemon again after this week.
As you turn on your phone, there's
As I
still
turn on my phone, and
very
everything
much
is just
there.
straight Kanto. But outside of that, no. I mean, it was still, like I said, still probably the more enjoyable part of Pokemon Go I've had in a while. Some of the events they've done, it's kind of the same, where it's all like there's a chance for this shiny Pokemon, and I just like there's no reason for me to really play it.
Like, to me, it should have, like, when they did like the Meowth or the Nidoran male and females,
Yeah.
or the Sneasel,
Yeah.
that's what it should have been for Snorlax. You just let it keep cycling through. Like, you have like 36 chances.
Yeah.
I would have been stoked for that, as long as they weren't assholes like the ones we were encountering.
Yeah.
To where it took like 20 plus balls to catch it, or you just fucking left it.
Yeah.
Like, I think that would have been great.
I agree. It's they have a lot they can work on. And I'm curious to see the numbers. I want to see how many people bought these things, because I think everyone that I know did buy it. So,
and this, I feel like a lot of people were kind of disheartened after it, buying it and seeing what this was. They're just like, what the fuck? So I hope Niantic sits down and does a lot of heavy reflecting after this to just really see, like, we had a lot of people buy it, but like, what are they saying? What's the voice of the people?
All right, man. Well, for all you guys out there, stay warm, stay safe. Thanks for tuning in.
Yep, and don't be a dumb bitch, okay?
Yeah, don't be a dumb bitch. Slurp on some dumb bitch juice.
Man, no dumb bitch juice.
No dumb bitch juice. Stay safe out there, and shouts to my beautiful motherfuckers in Texas. You guys are great. Not like Ted Cruz though.
Yeah, fuck that dude.
All right, bye.
Bye.